From time to time, we end up being a part of awkward conversations, conversations in which we subsequently realized as to what are we doing being a part of this conversation. I'm sure this would have happened to many of us. Now, when we are a part of such awkward conversations or conversations where we are not too keen in terms of continuing the discussion or the topic or the method in which the speaker or the person communicating is to us is steering the conversation, we are not too happy with it and we want to change the course of that particular conversation. What do we do? How do we actually change the course of such a conversation which is awkward in nature, or possibly a topic which is being discussed is something which we are not very comfortable with? Now, many a times when someone is speaking with us, we may have gone through a scenario where a person keeps speaking continuously, non-stop, and many a times a person may be bragging or possibly speaking on something negative, which possibly doesn't seem of interest to us, or we don't want to get involved or be a part of such a negative discussion. So what do we do? So when you realize that a person is bragging unwantedly or speaking on something which is not a very important topic for you to discuss, or possibly a very sensitive point, try to look out for a pause when this particular person pauses the discussion, or possibly has a few seconds of pause, because most of us, when we speak continuously, we definitely need a few seconds of pause. So at that point of time, you can steer the discussion to another topic. It could be as simple as possibly appreciating the clothes the person is wearing, or some other topic which you are aware of. For example, if someone is speaking with you and you are aware of a certain positive development, for example, that particular person would have won an award, or there has been a promotion, or any other positive development, bring that up and try to move the topic to another course of discussion. And doing that during the pause is going to be extremely vital. The second tactic which you can implement is, especially when it comes to negative discussions, when someone is trying or possibly speaking on something which is very negative, and you being an optimistic and a positive person, you don't want to discuss on that. So somewhere when you get the opportunity, try to pick up some point and slowly steer it to a positive discussion. So for example, if someone is speaking to you something negative about your boss, and you're hearing to that person and or listening to that person, and somewhere you want to steer into another topic, or possibly want to get out of the negative discussion about your boss, maybe you can bring out something positive or try to get into a positive area pertaining to your boss, and then take the discussion forward. So moving from negativity to positivity is extremely important, although it's not as easy as it sounds like. However, with a bit of tactical communication and understanding when or where you need to make that shift in the communication strategy, you would be able to very effortlessly do that. In case both these methods which I mentioned, of trying to move the discussion into another topic when there is a pause at the end of the speaker, or possibly trying to steer the discussion from a negative zone to a positive one, doesn't work, then what you need to do is, at times you need to be blunt, or you need to very clearly tell the speaker that you would definitely not want to engage in this discussion, and it's better that we speak on something else or on some other topic which is of mutual interest. Because at times you have to be upfront and honest, especially if the discussion is on a sensitive matter pertaining to, say, race, religion, or gender, and you don't want to be a part of such a discussion, so you will have to be straightforward and mention so. The final option definitely could be to politely excuse yourself from such discussion. In case nothing works, then the best strategy is to very politely excuse yourself, citing some reason, maybe mentioning that you have another discussion to attend to, It was a pleasure having this discussion. Nevertheless, you have something important or something urgent that has come up and you need to address. So, excusing yourself is going to be the final part of the approach which you can implement. Now, when it comes to awkward discussions or awkward conversations, one very vital point in terms of managing is to be patient, and at the same time also drawing the limits in terms of what you communicate and how do you communicate, because many a times the person on the other side may be looking at certain cues or points from your side, and you never know, that person may twist those points and present it in another way in front of other people. So you have to be very careful and stay away from awkward discussions or discussions that you don't want to be a part of as much as possible, and you use these methods that I mentioned of utilizing the opportunity when someone is paused, moving the discussion to a positive approach, being straightforward and telling the person that you don't seek to engage in that discussion, or last, however, not least, excusing yourself politely. So that's what you can do to manage awkward discussions. Hope these points would have been of benefit to you. Thank you very much for your time.